this is Mrs. Neubauer, and let's work on our penmanship. So, I have a riddle for you. What happens once in a minute, twice in a moment, and never in 1,000 years? The letter M. All right, we're getting to almost our last lesson. Second to last. So, we worked pretty good so far. So, our goal for number 28, I can't believe we made it through lesson 28, can you? Is to learn how to write with no lines. No lines at all, just on plain white paper. So this is definitely the most advanced of all of our lessons. As you can see on my whiteboard, you can see I wrote the word apple, and I used it based on our technique that we've been practicing by looking at the letters on the left to help with the letters you're currently writing. So you can see I have my dashed lines, just like we started off with our paper lines. And basically what you do is you write your letter A, that's to establish that 1/2. And then when you write your letter P, remember the top looks back to the left, and then we go down about the same amount and back up, and we have a double letter. So P's gonna go, and you're gonna look at your left P for the top and the left P for the bottom. And then this time, when you do your letter L, you have to do kind of twice as much as that initial half. So all the way up for L. And then when you have E, you have to go back 2 letters to your left to your P to see where you should have it. So this is definitely advanced. We're going to be working with no lines at all on white paper. So I'm going to change the camera and we can get started, okay? Okay, so hopefully you have printed off number 28. Plain paper, no line practice. So we're not only going to trace numbers and symbols, but words on each line and then try it on our own. So there's no lines at all this time, just like we have a plain white piece of paper. Okay, so first of all, I kind of have you start, tracing again. Number 1, you usually put a dot at the on the right-hand side for numbers, and then you can start tracing over ask. So back to 3-letter words, because this is an advanced challenging lesson today. All the way up and down, and then your K is all the way up. Okay, so once we practice writing ask again, let's try it on the right. So we can establish your A. So the first letter of the word is what you start with, and then that's going to be, now remember, that's going to be our center line. We're going to have halfway up and then another half down. So each one would be the same amount. You don't have to write that on your paper. I was just showing you, but if you wanted to. So remember, I guess take little notes. That's fine. Okay, so my S comes, and I'm going to look back at my A and go a little bit above the top of the A. And now my ask, I'm going to do, or I'm sorry, my K, I do double all the way up to the top. And then I'm going to look back at my A and my S to see where that second part of the K goes. Okay, so that's our first word, and there's plenty of room if you want to write other words or just keep writing that same word. Let's see what another challenging word would be. Probably let's try fab. All right, so after you trace over it, let's try fab. Okay, so my letter F is going to be a double, and then it also goes down in half amount. Okay, now I didn't, F doesn't have where that center line would have been from our words. So when I do my A, I have to kind of establish the halfway point of my F. And then my B goes all the way top, so I gotta go look back at my F to see where the top is, and then the second part of the B, I look back at my A. So that one is a little challenging. Okay, so at first they might seem a little bit hard, but as you practice them, you're gonna do better, and better. Let's try, we'll try kite. You can do your exclamation point, and then try your kite. Okay, so K, it's gonna be double all the way to the top. And then the second part goes to the middle. And then I'm gonna look back at my K to do my I, and go Now, I remember I stopped my T and then I gotta go halfway to the top to do the second part of my T. Come back, cross that T, and then add that dot. The top of my I. Okay, so there's 2 pages. That's the A through O, and then page 2 has pet through dot. So we started back over with some different 3-letter words. So let's see which one looks like a little challenging for us. Ooh, what about ugh? Ugh. Hopefully you're not thinking about the lesson as this. Okay, so we can write our number 6. And then ugh. Okay, so let's start with the U. U is going to be half size. A nice U. Okay, so when I do my G, the top of the G, I'm going to look back at my U. And then I have to do the bottom of the G. So I'm just going to try to do the same amount of space as I go down. Okay, now the H is going to be double all the way to the top. And then the second part of the H, I'm going to look back at my G and down. All right, looks good. Try to see if there's another word. Looks good. Trying to hard. I mean, I guess once you get knowing what to do, they won't be very hard for you. Probably when you have to go underneath, you might get. So sometimes I notice that some students will do kind of a shorter top, and that's okay. And that's part of your style. You don't have to write on plain paper often, but I thought that would be a nice advanced lesson for you to learn and better to be able to work. Remember when we worked on our line paper and using that spacing. So probably, 95% of your time you're going to be writing on line paper or lines, and then sometimes you're going to write without. But if you always, are having a hard time with it and you have to make a poster or anything, you can always use a ruler and draw your guidelines too if you're having a hard time writing like this. Okay. All right, so you made it through your advanced challenging lesson number 28. This goal might be accomplished in a few days, or it could have been accomplished today. But just remember that you always look at your first letter to the left to establish the one on the right that you're currently teaching or currently writing. So I just want to say you did a great job and keep practicing. And it's great. We kind of made it to the end. We got one more thing to do on lesson number 29. So have a great day.